Well, hello YouTube. How's everybody doing today? I am not going to tell you where I am today, but there will be subtle clues in the video to help you out, help you figure out exactly where I am today. It's a rainy, old, dreary, old, nasty kind of day. So it seemed like a really good day to get out. You know what I mean? I'm out in my hometown, Williamson, West Virginia. And I thought I'd take you guys out for something just a little bit different. And we may as well take the UTV. I wanted to try my doors out in the rain. And I just got my winter shoes put back on her. Had my summer ones on there, took them off. This raises it about 1 inch. She looks good for an old girl, don't she? She's got 16,000 miles on her. 25 trail rescues. She still looks good. It's either 25 or 26, lost count. Either way. Anyhow, like I said, I'm gonna take you guys out for a ride and we'll splash around. We'll probably find a mud hole or two and splash around a little bit and show you some of the pretty stuff around town. See, the good thing about Williamson, it's a trail town, my hometown. The Hatfield McCoy trail system, Buffalo Mountain, is right over here, and you can drive anything, pretty much anything you want here legally, and you just get a trail pass, and you don't have to, you know, license your vehicle or anything like that, and you can drive it, just have at it, you know, go have fun. Okay, sorry about that. Camera decided to take a break. He's tired. He's gonna take a break. See you in a minute. All right, I think we got it lined back out again. We seem to be recording. Okay. Anyway, if you want to, guys, if you feel like it, take a cruise around town, see some stuff, maybe have a little bit of mini adventure for like a half an hour, something like that. Jump in and make yourself comfortable. I've only got the one helmet, but luckily for us, trail authority rules don't require you to have one. If you want anything to drink, I've got plenty of hot coffee and a whole pocket full of Rice Krispie treats if you want anything. So let me know. Where's my key? First things first. Can't see out a window if you can't see out the window. That makes sense? Yeah, try this again. Alright, now this right here is Three Guys Pizza. Right here, center of town. As soon as you come through, they get a lot of trail riders. Side by side right there. Probably should just leave the door unzipped if I'm going to show you around town. Well, it didn't take too long. Pretty quick. Haven't really, like I said, haven't really got the chance to try the doors out in the rain, so this is their maiden voyage. This right here is the Mountaineer Hotel. It's very historic old hotel, and back in the day, you know, when people came to visit the area, this is where they stayed, because this was pretty much the only hotel. You know, southern West Virginia, you know, you get it. JFK has stayed here. Many celebrities have stayed here. Hang on, get my key. Many celebrities have stayed here and have rooms named after them. I think it's closed right now, but there's been a lot of, yeah, it's closed. been a lot of renovations on it over the years. Someone will get it and they'll renovate it, and someone else will get it and they'll renovate it. But it is closed right now. But I'm sure one of these days she will make a comeback. But like I said, there's a lot of celebrities from yesteryear have stayed here. JFK, there's a famous picture of JFK standing about right here. Right about here, just guessing. But right next door, part of the hotel. Right next door is the famous coal house of Williamson. And yes, for those of you who are curious, yes, it is made of coal. And yes, it has caught on fire before. That's the two questions you get the most. What if it catches on fire? Well, it did. It already did. But as you can see, the Chamber of Commerce is housed here. There's somebody in there. Why not? Hello.
Hey, all right.
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, thank you.
Just thought I'd look around a little bit.
Please do.
Old mine script. Right there. Railroad nails. Hatfield McCoy's. What's the date? Can't make it out. I think it might be a reprint. The newspaper's a reprint, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like 1998.
Yeah, they did like a commemorative thing.
Okay, okay. Got some interesting stuff, don't you?
Yeah. Neat stuff here and there.
Yeah. Hot and spicy pickles. Kind of moist out there today, isn't it?
It is.
Just a little bit?
What are you into today?
Just roaming around town, splashing around a little bit.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
I do. Very much so.
Well, I thought I'd just come in, say hi, and look around a little bit, and kind of,
It's coming in. You doing a YouTube thing?
Yeah, sure am,
Nice.
sure am. Well, thank you. You have a good day.
You too, man.
There it is, 1933. That's what I was curious about. When it was built. This came from the same scene. If I remember right, there was a plaque about that right here. Yeah, this building was constructed of the Winifred seam coal mined and donated by Crystal Block Mining Company. Wild looking, isn't it? That big arch. Wild looking, isn't it? And of course our statue of Chief Logan, although I'm still to this day not really sure why we have a statue of Chief Logan. I mean, he was never here. He wasn't born here, and he's not buried here. I think New York State, buried. But yeah, looks cool anyway. It looks cool. Gotta give him that. But the old courthouse right here. Well, this isn't the old courthouse. This is the newer courthouse. The old one had a great big clock tower that sat right up there. Right up on top. There's a jail, old jail up there now. I'd love to get in there and show you guys the old jail. That would be cool, wouldn't it? I may poke around, see if I can't get permission to go in there and video that one of these days. We may take a shot at that. That's a good idea. But there's all sorts of old historic buildings, and all of them, you know, have I can remember when this was a department store many years ago, and it's a parking garage now, but I can remember when it was a department store of Murphy's and Hobbs side by side. All right, let's get back to the UTV and we'll go splash around a little bit and then move on around town. Because you know I'm going to splash around a little bit. Go up First Avenue. See if we can find some water to splash in. It ain't really pouring, but there's usually some water. 51 degrees, by the way. The old, well, I keep calling it the old courthouse. It's old by, you know, our standards, but not really. Now this one's pretty old. The old Mingo Memorial Building, the health department, the library, magistrate court is also in there. Now this was used to be First Avenue. There was a whole street here. You can see the flood wall. The whole street was demolished to put the flood wall in. Old houses, hotels. There was a whole bunch of bars. Mud hole. Wash my undercarriage a little bit. Used to be the old Salvation Army building right there back in when I was little. There was an old A&P here, right here where that is. That used to be an old A&P when I was little. I can remember being a teeny tiny little kid living in, we lived in a house right there for a while, you know, not long, but I can remember it was winter and I wanted a box of cereal and Mom let me come across the street to get it, and it was snowing like crazy, practically a blizzard. It was awesome. She came and found me as soon as she realized it was snowing that hard. She came in the store and found me and walked me back to the house. The flood wall circles the town. Here, actually, I'll show you that. Go through the gates. This right up here was called Deep Third right up here. This was a very wild section of town, all the way up to the 80s, something like that. There were all kinds of bars all down through here, really wild, seedy bars, and it was called Deep Third. But right here's the flood wall, and you go right through it. These great big doors. That's for the doors at the railroad track. Goes through the wall, and the door for this one is right there. They just slide it across. Of course, water department, but you know, that's not why we're here. River's up a little bit, teeny bit, not much. There's a waterfall right here about 4 feet, something like that. Pretty in it, even with the dead looking stuff. Good fishing spots in here too. You can see paths going down, and there's more over here. Tug's pretty good fishing river. It used to be pretty polluted when I was younger, but it's come a long way. Okay. Designs, trains, and balloons. There used to be a bunch of houses right here too. Now this is, like I said, this was called Deep Third right here. This was the seedy part of town, as the saying goes. Of course, it's cleaned up a little bit now. It's DMV. Don't want to splash in people. DMV, VHHR, State Police. It's all government now, isn't it? I guess that would tend to clean up a seedy part of town, wouldn't it? Now this right here, this burned. I remember when that building burned. A friend of mine was in this section. He got killed. I remember that. Guilford Muncie got killed in there when that burned. I worked there for a long time. Couple years at least. The old theater. That's something you don't really see anymore. You know, you see mini plexes where they'll have 6, 7, 8 little theaters. That one's got, that's the real one. That's the old school deal there. They had the really big screen. I saw Star Wars in there and all kinds of stuff. Rated R movies from the balcony. Of course, there used to be all kinds of old historic buildings right here, as a matter of fact, when I was younger, but it's all parking lot now. Used to be City Hall, sat right here on the corner. I can remember seeing an old picture of a bunch of police officers right here from Prohibition. Had a bunch of stills out here and were beating them to death with sledgehammers and axes in the picture right there on that corner. This little spot right up here holds, you could say, holds a little significance. A couple of these do actually. There's a couple interesting places here. This used to be bars. Look at this one. Check this out. Hatfield McCoy. There was one of the reality TV show was filmed here, and they actually put in a real working still and all kinds of stuff to make it, and then the show just abruptly shut down and left. But they left all of this stuff still intact. Imagine that. Big, well, not a big Hollywood production, but I guess, you know, one of those Discovery Channel or whatever kind of places. Right here. Right in this exact spot. I've sat here many a morning meeting trail riders to go out on, take them out, you know, from town to town to see historic sites. Trail 10 starts right over here, and Death Rock is right up there. So that was my first stop, was Death Rock. I've met, when we gave it up, we were bringing, well, I don't want to, whatever. We were bringing a lot of trail riders, put it that way, when we gave it up. I still kind of miss it some days. You know how it is, getting out in the mountains and just ripping through there and just having a blast with countless people. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of worry too, I'll be honest. You know, you worry about your other trail riders, you worry about breaking down, you know. It's a lot of headache. One of the secrets too, I'll let you guys in on a secret. Yeah, whenever, you know, people come down, they bring their truck, their trailer, their UTV, you know, ATV, side by side, whatever. Something breaks down every time. In every group, something, into each day, a little rain must fall. And that's one of the little secrets that nobody tells you. When a group of people come down trail riding to southern West Virginia, someone in the group they'll break a tie rod, they'll get a flat, something. There will be something that happens every time. Secret. Now you know. Alright, let's get away from the ding, 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 ding. I've heard that so much sitting here that I'm immune to it, but I would imagine some of you probably aren't. This was called Armor Crossing right here. There was a meat packing plant right there, and my aunt and uncle lived on the other side of the train tracks for a while when I was little. Now we're right down here to the right down this way. Well, we'll get to that with just 1 second. There's our old church bells. Every 30 minutes those ring. Every hour they tone, you know, what time it is. And, you know, I always did like that. I always thought that was cool. Mountain View Memory Gardens, I've done several stories. I've stopped in here for information on various graves, where places are. Really, really good people. Right down here, oh, had a car behind me, didn't even see him pull up. Right down here's what I wanted to show you next. Wow, it's caught on fire, isn't it? New fence, done been on fire. Speaking of fire, this right here burned down last year, but that's not why we came down here. This little spot right here is where the town has the Dirt Days Festival every year. It's a big loop, big mud pit, stuff like that. All the tires. There's a drag strip on the back. You got the mud pit. You go right down through, you know, loops and carries on and all that stuff, and then the drag strip down the back. I've drag raced there a few times during Dirt Days. The last one, I think I did 50-50. One even. I don't remember how many times I ran, but I broke even number, wins and losses. Of course, then again, now I was racing in a UTV, and I was racing like ATVs and stuff. So you know, you got to give me a little credit. You know, totally different vehicles. I'm racing fast ones in a slow one, and still did okay. Weird looking little car, isn't it? All those are. This used to be a great big Mingo Lyman lumber, big lumber yard down here, but they closed many moons ago. Some of these buildings here are incredibly old, but they're still standing, ain't they? Now you can tell by the stairs. You know, you can just look at it and tell it's a really old building. Kid, that thing's rang every hour. except at night. They shut it down at night. City Auto, got a bunch of friends work there. That's good guys. They help me keep up my machine all the time. Hey guys, good to see y'all. And the old post office used to be the courthouse. I did a story there once, well, video, and showed you guys the old courthouse, the old holding cell, the old jail, all that stuff. Let's see about heading out First Avenue here. Not have to wait for the light. I've already showed you that anyway. About a messy old day, ain't it? Mud hole. Back side of the courthouse, that's the coal house from behind. And Dandy's here. That used to be, this whole place used to be wild as a buck when I was younger. One of my first jobs was in the basement of that building. My uncle had a carpentry business. I can remember working in that basement, cutting lumber. Jail. They don't use the jail anymore. They have a big new one. What's in that car? Making sure he saw me. It was Goodwill last, but when I was little it was the old A&P. And Heather's calling. I'll be back. Yep, that was Heather. She wants me to pick up some dog food on the way back home. Well, I guess we'll head over there. Head right across the bridge here into Kentucky and get some dog food. It's one of the good things about living here. You know, you can go to KFC, you could hop on your dirt bike and go to KFC or whatever you want to do. You know, that's one of the cool things about this place. The water plant I showed you a minute ago. Crossing over into Kentucky. Place here called Appalachian Plaza. For those of you trail riders, visitors to the area, you might need to know this. They have, you know, dollar store, KFC, Wendy's, Big Lots, stuff like that. Nice and convenient. Or if you go on up the 4-lane, right straight on up that way, there's a Walmart about a quarter mile. I don't think we'll need Walmart though. I think Family Dollar will do for dog food. Don't need to go all the way up the road. Coming down now, ain't it? Coming down good now. Nice and rainy out here. Very nice and messy. Doors are doing really well. There's a couple drip, which that's from the windshield, you know, right there. But I've got one drip here where that is. That's always been there. And one drip right there. Other than that, I am bone dry in here. I like that. I'm not used to that. I'm used to, you know, when you're in the UTV and it's raining, you get wet. You know, you bring your rain gear. It's like the windshield. I'm used to driving with no windshield wipers. I've got 16,000 miles in this thing. You know, I've got more miles in this than I do in Mustang. Heather and I will be going places, and we'll be driving down the road in the car in the Mustang in the rain, and she'll look at me like, well, are you going to turn your wipers on? Oh yeah, I forgot I had those. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed our little cruise out on a rainy day. Just get out just for fun, you know, not really doing a whole lot of anything, you know, just having fun. Anyway, hope you enjoyed our little cruise in the rain. Show you a couple things anyway. Y'all have a really good day. Thank you for coming along. EO out. Let's go get some dog food.